Welcome back. We need Bard off cam because I want to have something I want to talk about. Hello Panda. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but it's a delicious Japanese sweet. It's little biscuits with pandas on, and it's got jam inside. This one, cookies filled with strawberry cream, or they've written creme. Not even cream, it's creme. I respect that. Little pandas. Look, there's a tennis racket. There's ice hockey, table tennis. I don't even know what that is. There's even a little skating panda. So, hello Panda. If you're not familiar, I mean, this is not like a paid product ad or anything. This is just I just bought some Hello Panda. I like it. It's like a little treat every now and then. Okay, maybe we should have a segment where
we actually get paid for this.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Nice.
That would be cool. That's a hardcore product placement, man. It's delicious. Do you know how to open a box?
Oh, you want me to open it?
Well, you said you wanted some.
Well, I thought it was opener. And I thought you were having some, enjoying it.
I believe in you, in your ability to operate a box of Hello Panda. I think you can do it.
I did it.
You're halfway there. There's a little
I did it.
sealed bag inside.
Yeah.
So you can take a
I'll take
piece
one.
out,
I
and
just
you
want
can
one.
show the viewers what a little Hello Panda looks like. This segment is money. This segment is money.
There's no. My panda is misshaped. I guess you can't see it on the camera.
Just
but
a deformed panda. Look, everyone's equal, okay?
it looks. I can't even tell. It looks like a blob.
All right. Well, enjoy your blob panda with the little gel inside. Marvelous. Creme. Excuse me. Creme. Marvelous stuff. We really should. Someone give us money. We will do this. This is great. This is fantastic. Look, it sits on the table afterwards. This is awesome. The engagement's off the charts. We're moving to Vertigo. That's the second map in this best of 3 series.
They're good. They're actually pretty good. A little addicting.
They're very nice, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're nice.
I'll buy some.
Vertigo,
But so they're supposed to be like
Give me the box.
black ink, or not ink, obviously. You don't want to ingest that, but you know, like a coloring. But it's all been worn away. Look. This is supposed to be.
Someone's handling it.
See, it just looks like it's been burnt, or it's.
This is the secrets. The secrets.
James, you got a dodgy one. This has got a hole in it.
Probably where they put the jam in.
Oh.
Mine's got a hole which has been
They just
sealed.
inject it. They just inject the creme.
How else do you think the creme goes in
injection
there?
site on the panda?
I don't know what you guys are complaining about. There's clearly like
yours is clear.
Mine's baseball. Mine's baseball.
I see.
I don't know if it's going to be out of focus. It's going to be out of focus, isn't it? Yeah, you can have out of focus. There we go. See, look, it's fine. There we go.
So yours
Marvelous.
actually has a picture
yeah,
on it.
Mine didn't have a picture.
Because you guys are idiots. That's why.
And his has a hole in it.
Because you guys are plebs.
Are you scared?
It's a really big one as well.
I've got a good one.
Can you see from it?
Yeah.
So we've got updated odds from Pinnacle. 1.63 for Avangar. They're still looking like a favourite. And we move to Vertigo now. We're ready to begin the pop-offs. Smoke again is what people feel. But what will we see?
Rush A. Can we rush A most of the game?
That's what I do. When I'm playing there, I just jump peek like that.
So
I like it.
Quick reference for people, because we're going to see a lot of A rushes. The T's side timing to A is really, really, really fast. You beat the CTs, and you can get it. That's actually a gap in that smoke, but you can get the bomb down straight away with 2 smokes. There's a few spots you can plant. One of which behind those blue crates on the left there. They're really, really bright blue ones, and that's basically what happens just constantly. So what has been done in some of the Vertigo games I've seen is you, as the CTs, throw smokes ahead of the T smokes so that when they fall back, there's a wall of smokes for you to defuse.
That's an interesting bomb plant position. Look at all the spam. Now, you guys need Bardolph grenades. That's what I'm going to say.
Welcome to Vertigo. Welcome to Vertigo.
Welcome to Vertigo.
Defuses and smokes. That's going to happen a lot, by the way.
All right, so there's, it's early and things need to develop. So the first thing is, if you look at the default plant, which is behind this blue crate, which is bulletproof, essentially, safe in the corners. When the smokes are up and they're planting in that smoke, you can bounce HEs from a number of different places. You can easily double nade someone who's planting the bomb. Now, when post-plant, the Ts will often stand at the moment on the ramp and behind the sandbags. You can drop a smoke. I've put all this on Twitter already. You can drop a smoke. Basically, there's a wooden platform. I don't know if we can go to the bomb site and just ignore the action for a second. They're all on pistols. So you see that in the corner, that flat little piece of wood. You can drop a smoke, which lands on that, which takes away a lot of the angles where the T's are trying to shoot you from. Because it takes away the elevation behind it, takes away that position as well. You can actually throw a Molotov there as well. So you could put a molly there to force them away, and then put a smoke into that. And then it's harder for them to spam you like that because they can't see what's going on. So
okay,
that is one way to begin. So I feel like, yeah, that's the thing at the moment. But there is evolution. It doesn't have to be that simple.
So I'm gonna call it right now. Valve put this map in the pool, such as it is, because they want to make pro players start buying the negative. Because if you think about how many bullets negative has, all the wallbang spots, all the smokes, the negative's actually a pretty sick option. Also the auto sniper, also kind of a good option in some spots.
Doesn't feel like CS though to me.
Well,
This doesn't feel like it. I'm not saying it's wrong. It just doesn't feel like it.
I'll go play 1.6.
There's no servers.
Oh, Snacks threw the bomb away.
I'm such a troll.
Just waiting for it to come back again.
Oh, does it come back?
Yeah.
Oh.
They fixed that. So one of the problems of this map, a lot of pros are, like Elige, as we mentioned, are voicing, is that they changed the spawn for some reason. So now the T's can get to A like 2 seconds faster, and that's a huge problem. The CTs don't have time to set up. They don't have that spawn to set up and ramp anymore. So they have to give up ramp every single time for the most part.
Oh, and for the viewers, on our radar, obviously you're thinking, oh yeah, on our radar on Nuke we have the multi-levels. So we have 2 radars to look at based on sort of what level people are standing on, and it adjusts automatically. Here what we have is just, they will be a little bit more faded out, the numbers, if they are on the lower levels, just to make it a bit easier, more intuitive. And I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it works really well on Vertigo.
I love that we have
Nuke doesn't work so well.
different types of dynamic map based on which map it is. I think with the spawn timings, I think the CSGO devs are trying to, it's not traditional CS, but I don't think they want it to be traditional CS. I think they want it to be different. And maybe it doesn't work, but I respect that they're trying something. So it's not the same old thing every time they introduce a map.
What about Tuscan? Well,
questions we'll probably never have answered. So you can see the utility. They're trying to hold on to it for as long as possible, trying to create some space with that smoke. But again, at this point, well, we've got a flash execute from the Virtus.Pro, so we'll talk about it more later. Jame with some spam, but nothing doing just yet. Meaty's got himself 2 kills, but there's no cover for the actual bomb plant. But it's a risk for Sanji to keep going back. This balcony area can be very useful as well. Absolute carnage, more Molotovs. Sanji going through the mollies. Bomb can't get stopped from getting planted. And we're down to a 1 versus 2. Absolute war of attrition, which probably favors the T's long term. Buster will create some space with that smoke, but again, I think if you know the one that goes on the balcony, that's exactly where Virtus.Pro are basically standing. Trying to invite the spray and looking to punish it. But so you see, where they're both standing, the elevated position and the other one, they're all standing essentially on the ramp or the top of it, behind that piece of wood. So if you drop your smoke there, I mean, you need more than 1 person alive, but I feel like there's more place to be had. If you can drop a smoke there and you've got a molly for sandbags, for example. But it's rough for the CTs because, as you saw there, Virtus.Pro didn't go for a smoke plant. They went for a take of the back of the bomb plant. They wanted to have aggressive positions, which makes a hell of a difference. Well, that was a big play from Sanji. Didn't quite work out. He pulled the wrong card. No magic for him. Avangar now with 3 players on pistols. So I don't think... I mean, we might see small changes. I don't think we'll see significant changes until there's more data. That's an important thing from a developer point of view, to collect as much data as possible. We've seen that with some weapons which were clearly broken, and it felt like they were broken for too long. But that's purely because of just the gathering of the desired amount of data.
Yeah. It'll take some time after a couple months to be able to kind of figure out once more matches are played.
Map design with developers is quite an interesting topic in the fact that if you do something unorthodox or something which people aren't used to, you kind of have to force it in. There isn't another way to find out what works, what doesn't work. You have to just roll it out, because you could say to the pros, hey, what do you think about this? But part of that, you're going to get like, oh, I'm not familiar with this, I don't like this, this is bad, right? So you're not necessarily going to get a balanced opinion, so you just have to do it the hard way, which is this.
I think what would be really good in the future is if there is a group that is created of some description, and their singular purpose, they're financed by, let's say, Valve's esports division for CSGO or something, and they are financed specifically to create maps and for the competitive scene.
There's a whole
Just
community
like
of
get 5 to 10 of the most elite map makers and organize them in a way which sort of corresponds to what's happening in the professional scene and infrastructure, and there you go. I mean, if we look at StarCraft, having new maps is incredibly important, and the balance elements are. I'm talking Brood War specifically, obviously in future iterations, but Brood War specifically because they didn't have any updates to the balance of the game since like 2002 or something, and so all the balance was done through maps, and so they had a really strong team of map makers for the professional tournaments that would release maps for each new circuit.
I like that.
And I loved how seriously they took that. It kept the professional scene very fresh. Obviously, it's a different game, but I think there are some comparisons to be made.
I would argue that we have a similar thing, because there's plenty of motivation for the map core community, and they are very, very active, and they make great maps. Like, we both judge the maps they make in the contest that we help them do. So all that's super awesome, but
well,
I mean, part of that is like, you know, that they go into operations or whatever they're called these days, but not so much into the professional map pool, which is a Valve thing, but they are doing their own maps.
I mean, that's kind of my point. Like, there's a disconnect between Valve specifically and what Valve are able to do, and what the community is trying to do, and what the community want as far as maps are concerned. And I hope that changes in the future. I mean, people can work together. Valve can work together with them.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if Valve invested in them, they could get some really sick stuff, as opposed to taking it on themselves to just rework a map like Vertigo.
Yeah, well, they're doing both. You know, you've got Overpass, for example, but it's just and Canals.
Well,
but they just choose to keep the community maps in the community as opposed to in the map pool. I think a map like Santorini, for example, would have been interesting, although I think naming it Santorini was maybe a death knell. You don't want to give it a real name like that, but here we go. Let's see what Avangar are able to do with this hero AWP. Do you really want to... Kiko's the only person with a defuse kit, so... I mean, he could throw... Yeah, it would be suicide maybe to try and defuse this one. So we've seen the usual stuff so far. A is the only bomb site as far as Virtus.Pro. Well, actually, no, that's not true. They had 3 people charge B one round, I think, when Avangar didn't have a full buy. But it is a difficult conundrum. Maybe it requires a different way of thinking that people haven't figured out yet. Or maybe it just requires a significant update.
I think one of the things that could make it interesting if flanks were a bit more viable for the CTs, because then if you have this swell of players, you know, going towards the A-bomb site for the Ts, does open up flanking possibilities for CTs. But the flank is really easy to hold, so it's not really that much of a response.
Right now we can see Veggie is towards the A-bomb site, and the rest are facing B this time. So I want to, like, if we establish where one lurker plays, generally speaking, to kind of stop a flank, and then the CTs figure out how to eliminate that person, maybe that slows an approach to the other side of the site, for example. So again, I think there's still time for things like that to potentially develop. Smokes are up to deny information. High flashbangs as well. Creeping around. See CT's falling back. So Virtus.Pro are mixing it up, trying not to telegraph too much. Jane looking for a boost behind the big box. 49 seconds on the clock. Still got Veggie keeping them honest towards the A-bomb site. Great cover in case of a flashbang. That top area is quite unusual as well. Oh, look, they're guessing that surely it's got to be A eventually. They cut noise Virtus.Pro and the spade to the Vanguard. The fear, the sheer fear.
Where's that smoke you're talking about?
We got fakes. Sanji looks like he's got a gap in his smoke. If he put Bardolph smoke there wouldn't be a gap.
I feel like retaking both bomb sites is kind of nightmarish for the CTs. You can see how horribly locked out the CTs are from the B-bomb site. And I think you know, fakes and sort of abusing CT rotations on this map is really devastating, because even though rotations are fast, when you're out of a site, you're really locked out of the site. Like, it's so difficult to get in, especially B. Well, especially A, especially both in A and B.
I kind of like how VP's been playing their T side, tossing a lot of pump fakes.
Yeah,
I keep saying pump. They're tossing smokes and flashes and a Molotov, and then they're waiting. And then they're doing it again. They're trying to bait as much utility from the CT side as possible. So, because this map is a lot about retakes. It seems like on the CT side, it's really hard to hold the bomb sites in general. So, you have to play some sort of retake, especially at A. So, when VP's baiting all this utility, less nice for the retake, harder to retake. So far, good game plan and play style by VP. It's really just
I think the new economy is actually made for this map. So if you think about it, if you got those hard resets on the CT side where you just had your loss bonus was in the bin completely, you'd be looking at like 12-3 halves, essentially.
Yeah.
And maybe you are anyway at the moment, but the economy will certainly help develop that into a better situation. I think if, in terms of pushing the ramp area as a CT, regardless of the spawn, I think this yellow top on the left is a really difficult situation, because it's such a long area where a T can be hiding behind, and you can't clear that
And
without
different
exposing
levels.
yourself to
different levels. So it's like you can't just aim at a common spot, because they could go top, they could go lower.
Yeah, and it's so long, and you're so exposed to everything else, but then maybe that's partly the point, and you're not supposed to go that far. So again, trying to figure out the intentions in the design of the map is quite interesting. Avangar flanked, exposed, eliminated by the likes of Snacks.
This seems like a map for Snacks. It seems like there's a lot of opportunities and spots where he can just sneak around, trick the opponents, and kind of get to the back line. Snacks was really popular for doing that a lot. And I kind of like that play style, you know, trying to make a play, trying to sneak behind the enemy line.
I think if Avangar get to 5 rounds, that they win this map.
Only
Because
5,
this was a pick of
not
Virtus.Pro.
16.
What's that?
Virtus.Pro picked Vertigo.
Yeah, no, I know, but I think that Avangar, this is a very, very heavily T-sided map, and I think that Avangar are the better team, better players overall.
It's going to be very difficult. And this map could be unfamiliar territory for a lot of these teams until they kind of figure out the angles.
It's also
comfortable.
It's also kind of a map that, you know, Virtus.Pro are always going to be leaving maps like that in. And with the Avangar, you know, they are a team that have a pretty good map pool already. And it is a map that I think suits their play style or their strengths. As I would also imagine this to be a fantastic map for ENCE for similar reasons. And, you know, as you were talking before, good spacing, good team play, very decisive, move quickly together, good utility usage. And there's less focus around snipers on this map as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of the sort of teams with superstars, often one of the superstars will be one of the snipers. So it's a harder map for you as a sniper. So I feel like this is a good map for them to sort of hone, and I wouldn't be surprised if they've been working on it already from the beginning.
They've played it once in the officials so far. Virtus.Pro played it 3 times, won 1 of those 3 matches. So there's bomb plant, no HE at this point. You could just bounce the HE off this right wooden panel, or you could run throw and bounce off the other side for like a really aggressive, super deep 50-ish HP grenade. And you can see they're all around that wooden plank. If you dropped a smoke there, honestly, I don't think they'd even know what to do. I don't know that well, I haven't seen anyone do that just yet, so I do wonder how that would play out. If you put a smoke there and... I mean, it's an ideal world. Like, how do you hold on to utility in this scenario? We saw the executes from Virtus.Pro. If you don't smoke the site, then they're going to have their own flash plays and just go through and try and clear out some of the back.
Avangar looks a little lost on their CT side. Or not lost, but uncertain, cautious, very passive. And VP's just completely abusing that, taking choke points, taking middle. Just really just very spread out, not really condensing just yet. Again, as I was saying earlier, they were tossing nades on one side of the map, waiting and kind of seeing the bait and rotations or other utility. And then they do it on another side of the map, and do the same thing over and over. And I think Avangar has to maybe either push together instead of maybe being so spread out, or just like commit to each bomb site and make VP plant the bomb with 5-on-5 instead of getting picked off early and then they plant the bomb.
Yes, it's a difficult one. This map is a strange adjustment, I think, for a lot of top teams. Very unconventional. And Avangar. They just need to stop buying the negatives, man.
Look how rough this buy is. I feel like we've seen a lot of rounds which have been like this for Avangar in this half. Now they creep back towards A. Still got loads of flashes, Virtus.Pro. Showed plenty of presence towards B. Look at the numbers. James able to escape for now. Drops a smoke to create some space. So in this scenario, you could actually, with that smoke up as a CT, you could set up for retake grenades if you had them. Ooh. There is a molly. Mew taking plenty of damage. Sanji will follow up with the Desert Eagle. So Buster and Sanji have got 2 smokes. Fitch on a flank, which may take a while. So again, I presume someone's probably going to put a smoke on the bomb itself. But there we go. That's what I'm talking about. I wonder if that's literally my smoke he just threw, but either way, it's forced Virtus.Pro more into the open, and they might just have a chance now. Buster going for the default, but the spray is surely going to be too simple. Running onto the side, there's one taken out. It's going to be so close. Beautiful play. Is there time? He deserves it.
Oh,
a 4K from James. What a hero. What a hero. That's awesome.
Sick round from James. Oh, wow.
I really wonder if that was Bardolph smoke. That'd be so sick if it was, but... Anyway, the idea is there. You can see it makes things weird. Wow. That's such a big frag.
Ooh. Oh my god.
That's an unreal hold by James. That's unreal.
It's wild that he knew he was going to come in for the knife, too.
What a teammate. What a guy.
Even with that smoke up, it's still really hard for the CTs. So I mean, it is... I don't even know if you can say it's easier, because it's still just like that default plant. If you can't stop that, it's so hard to stop the spray. It's so simple. I'm sure people will end up having a lineup. There's so many buildings and things going through the sky that just learning a lineup for when there are smokes up won't be hard at all. But if you have a plan when you push the T's out of position, then maybe something can happen, because that was a unique performance by James, which you're not always going to have.
Nice boost. I like it. Eric, have you been banning Vertigo when we've been playing Faceit?
It's usually my first map that I want to pick and play.
Okay.
I go for Vertigo to play it every single time.
Yeah.
I'm down now.
I ban Mirage every time first.
You bastard.
Alright, so Avangar looking to stabilize, finally. Winning all the duels at the moment. And they've got lots of utility in the hole. Virtus.Pro going for the raw peaks, not quite working out for them. So in a future round, I do wonder if they'll go back to the old faithful towards the A bomb site. There's no one there now, apart from James, who is starting to flank. So there's a lot of information for Avangar. They're trying to create some space. That's a big headshot. Veggie and Snatchy remain. The trades. Can the bomb get planted? A molly on the bomb at the moment. He'll try and pick it up. Does he go for the plant behind blue?
Smokes cover so much.
All right, he's got a lot of chances at 1 versus 1s due to the nature of the map, but he needs to be right place, right time. The scope can be heard. Sanjeet knows he's close. There we go, just not giving him an opportunity, and there will be a defuse for Avangar.
It is so crazy how much one smoke covers on this map on the bomb sites. You can lock off pretty much everything with just 2 smokes. Everything. One cool thing on this map is auto shotguns are pretty damn good because of the ranges.
Good for who?
What's that?
Good for who?
Everyone. Well, mostly the CTs, I guess.
Well, it depends. Like, if you go up not these stairs, but the other stairs, that's not a good range for a shotgun. And there's a lot of engagements there.
And around the bomb sites and the mids, it's a lot of nice spots for it.
Like this, for example, like a shotgun would be useless in that position.
Well, obviously in this one spot on the map.
Well, that's not one spot. If you're around the ramp, if you're post-plant and you're not close, for either side, it's not that simple. If you're fighting and everyone's on the bomb site, then yeah, but if you're not...
I didn't say it's good, like, universally on every single spot on the map, though.
But it's very...
I said there's a lot of spots on the map that are useful.
Well, what I'm saying is it's very situational to the point where you're going to have a lot of shortcomings. There's going to be a lot of situations where you're going to be at a bad range for a shotgun, is what I'm trying to say.
Wouldn't you argue this map is much more close range than almost every other map, though?
There's a lot of close range, yeah. But if you bought one, you'd be causing yourself problems. I think. If at least on the T side, on the T side. I'm not being pedantic. I think if you buy a shotgun on the T side, you're gonna have issues because you need to close that range down. If you're on the CT side, there's viability, sure. If you're holding a site, but if you have a shotgun on A, then what are you going to do? Go through smokes with it? Because if you have to use it post-plant when they move back to the ramp, then how are you going to use? How is the shotgun going to be effective?
Into where they go, splitting through mids and the ramp. Absolute madness with all the flames, all the smoke.
All the dreams crushed.
I have a molly for that plant spot.
And I don't think there's a world where Kikut can ever even sneak in to the bomb site. Because there's only really 2 ways you can go.
There's an infinite amount of possibilities, Dan.
Yeah, this is pretty tough. I wonder if... I wonder how many rounds will be enough for Avangar on the CT side. Because Virtus.Pro, as you say, they do look like they're pretty... They put a lot of thought into this. The way that they're using their utility, the way that they'll throw a bunch for the beta response, sometimes, but also, although sometimes they just go really fast for a pick somewhere, then play around that really slow afterwards, and then start executing the utility. Not just rushing every round like a lot of teams do and can. But there's a lot more variance with that. B is just as hard to hold in many respects. Once you throw the smokes down, it's very hard to stop the Ts.
These flashbangs try to stop the CTs getting into position.
It's not a very effective flashbang.
I guess if they're close and they're trying to take the fights at the top of the stairs, then there'll be more of a problem. So it's a deterrent.
So you can smoke the site from T-spawn.
Which site?
B.
The B-bomb site.
There are videos out there
It's
on
crazy.
YouTube which already smokes where to throw.
Do we have another map like that? I don't think there is. Smoke a site from spawn.
Mirage.
I guess.
Remember, Guardian smoked B from spawn once.
That's kind of outside the site though, right?
It was smoked a short pillar or something.
Yeah, there's smokes for that. I know the.
Yeah, I can't think of really anything else, except maybe train, kind of, but still train you to run forward a lot.
Cache, you can kind of do it. Not really. Not from T-spawn, but
Yeah, not
outside
from the
T-spawn.
actual spot you spawn at. Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking about, because of the timings, you know, speeds everything up so much. Because you can't get to B in about 5 seconds from spawn.
Yeah.
25 seconds on the clock. Speaking of time, we have 3 smokes being held onto by Avangar and Molotov on James. So if the bomb does go towards A, look how much little time there is. This is very interesting. Sanji's has been taken out. The fake has been served towards the B bomb site, and now the bomb is alone, winning a very important duel, going for that default bomb plant. Kika holding an angle. He's alone, and Veggie jumps up. Oh my god! Does he go for the hero defuse? He has a kit. He hears one player's close already, and oh, it's Snatchy with the crouch peek. I don't know if he would have had time to defuse it, really. Campbell's had to be taken. So, yeah, it's hard. The seeking of information is pretty hard for the CTs. I think that's one of the key points. With fakes being offered like that by Virtus.Pro, you can't really go down the ramp to get information. But, I mean, I don't know, that hole in the ceiling going up these stairs, I suppose works both ways. So if there's a way for the CT to take some action there, then I don't know. You need to investigate it offline, really. Can't think about it out loud for too long here. The Avangar, again, a very rough situation, so the nature of the economy certainly helps for Vertigo, because it's very expensive and difficult for the CT side.
Everyone's at B. For the CTs, they stacked it.
It's a B party.
VP looking to try to finish the round there as well. Although, because it's Vertigo, they could easily rotate pretty much at any point. Even with 30 seconds left, they could still go towards the other bomb site. Nice shot from James. 3 players there for Virtus.Pro as they start to charge into the site. And all the smokes are creating a lot of problems. They're just walking one by one into these choke points. And that's a wrap. Avangar pick up an unlikely round. And another AWP as well. I don't know if double ops is really all that great on this map, but we'll see how they make it work.
Yeah, smokes can be really a problem. But if VP if they're gonna do their slow kind of wait and bait playstyle, it might be pretty effective. Just because VP would be so spread out, it'd be harder to quickly change the kills. And it kind of shows that Avangar had to really stack the bomb site with 4 people to stop that be execute from VP. So gamble sap does pay off, but can you do that? Can you guess correctly every single round? Probably not.
Pot flash information play, but again, we've got players behind the orange tarp. Now, this is a potential double peak spot. You can see they might be setting up for that with a player up on high ground now. Snatchy holding angles. Opalicious playing anti-flash. Now they start to set up for their grenades. So if you saw a smoke execute on the site, then I'd fall back and hold on to my utility for the retake. And there is some here, but Virtus.Pro are charging through, so they're not content with going to the smoke plant. They're looking to eliminate and weaken, maim Avangar. They've done that. They've got a man advantage as a bomb gets planted, and that's taken a lot of utility away. If you die, you drop 1 grenade. A lot of these players had multiple. Snacks should be heard by Buster. That might just waste some time. Maybe he wasn't. No, he was. But looking the wrong way. Now Fitch with 7 HP. Chasing him far away enough that he can try and go for... Oh,
my
so
God.
close. That's brutal. Snacks knows his mollies. Fitch one had one as well, but there we go.
I think if he had 50 HP, at least he wins a round. Big kill. James missed a couple important ones now.
It's hard not to get flash from that position, so I think there's a lot of variance to be had in that spot. Like when those nades come in, it depends on the nature of the nades. Like there's so many variables in Vertigo for the different situations. Beautiful.
It's a pretty good op angle. If the T's don't flash over, obviously if you get flash, you have to fall back, but it can catch a surprise. And I don't think I've seen a Avangar peek it with an op at that spot, so... Opalicious got caught with his pants down.
Now, do you consider that to be the lurker and no one else is there? It's guesswork. I think there were people there. There are. The Vanguard being very, very active, still looking for information. 5 versus 3. They've put 4 people on the A-bomb site, but they continue to deliver the AWP shots. All AWP frags now. Veggie and Snatchy, last 2 with no answer just yet. Where Veggie is, he can jump up just like that. With a boost, you could see over the top. Often the CTs will be on the left or the right, further back. Spots one, falling accuracy, but he's taken Fitch out, knows where one of the other players is. They'll try to create some space. In the meantime, Snatchy's creeping, found a gap in the smoke, and a headshot onto Buster. That will be the bomb spotted, I think. We'll see what they choose to do. Snatchy on a rotation. I believe that rotation will be heard by somebody on the upper ground, and he's faking it. He's giving sound cues away deliberately. Sanji closes the door. That's a pain for Veggie. Forces him forward into a different choke point, which is guarded on both sides by the CTs. Poking forward. There's one looking for the trade fragger. Now creeping back towards the door, as is James. Sure, he's got the sound cues. Really rough for both sides. Sanji takes Veggie out from the back, and Snatchy scopes in. 15 seconds. Got to commit to the bomb plant. Sanji's got a molly. As you know, the molly from there for the default spot. James almost gets taken out. There will be some revenge. 6 rounds for Avangar. Will that be enough on their CT side of Vertigo? Find out after the break.
Would you rather stay? I'll watch you be and slowly walk away. I would rather leave. I'll take your heart and wipe it off your sleeve.
And just like that, we are back. More Vertigo. The side swap. Now we'll see if Avangar can have a similar level of success that we saw from Virtus.Pro on their T side. A late comeback from Avangar as they started adjusting. They started learning. They're like a robot, a machine, a Terminator. But now it all resets as they change sides. Snatchy with Molotov and a flashbang. Very interested to see what the intentions are with that molly from Snatchy. What position is he in? Can we have a quick look? Monsieur Snatchy. Okay, he's just spotting. And we've got a quick boost coming in. Will he be ready for... Oh no, he failed. They fell off. They fell off. And now they're up again. Oh, the double pick's beautiful. 5 HP is very important that he survives for Virtus.Pro. From that position he is in, he can molly default B or A, more or less. Holding onto his utility for now. Snatchy basically taken out of action. He's carrying $800 of utility for the CT side. That may be very important indeed.
So they've gone towards B here, and oh wow. Oh, he's in a lot of trouble here. Nice, good nades coming in from a Vanguard to take the B-bomb site, and they are shutting down the VP's defense pretty effectively.
Snatchy.
Look how methodical this pistol is from a Vanguard. They are a great team to watch.
I like watching them.
They are one of the best teams to watch right now. I feel like Avangar and Furia to me, or like Furia is the Avangar of North America in the sense that it's this really good team of, again, like great team players, not necessarily big names. They've just come up together, worked really hard, and here they are.
Snatchy and Veggie remain. There's one. Only the one though.
Saving the flashbang.
Virtus.Pro suffer in their first round on their CT side. I think Snatchy's molly went towards the middle of the site or somewhere, but it didn't quite land. But from where he was standing, can get a default molly.
I like the peak. Sorry, I like the peak from a Vanguard. The space, you know, the top.
The double
box.
peak, yeah.
Just like little things like that, just they get me going.
It's pretty important too because the Vanguard have won both pistols. And like, you know, winning the T-side pistol on this map, on the T-side of the map is so important because the CT rounds are so hard to come by. So it does set Avangar up pretty nicely, but we'll see how good VP are on this map. But you can see Snatchy can't get to the sandbags in time.
Yeah, and that's some of the spawn issues that people have been talking about. At least if the bomb site's so hard to defend, give us a chance to post up a little bit more, which I think is reasonable,
Yeah,
based on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think so too.
Got to balance it one way or another.
So A is taken. And VP might as well just hold on to what they have at this point. Unless they want to try and contest this, if they know some good smokes to retake with, but that's what's his lineup.
Bouncing off the back wall. So I've made the same smoke, but from the sandbags there. Although he's got great cover from his teammates. Obviously, they're deep. They're up deep. But I made two different ones from the sandbags, holding left and right click. Bomb has been planterized, and Virtus.Pro have no interest in making their way towards the A bomb site. They yield. Do you yield? They have rung the bell.
Stop. Okay, that's rude.
I actually went down there.
Yeah.
No clip. No clip down there. It's weird down there. It's really funny because those cars, like the side facing the building, is all complete, but the other side, they just didn't bother. It's like, no, this is fine.
No one's gonna no clip down here.
And if you go through the floor, there's like some kind of weird little model city underneath. I never understand what's going on with those things, but
It's taking up CPU resources, you know?
can't believe they've done this.
They gotta nerf
Well,
the FPS.
maybe it's only rendered when you go through the floor.
Is that how it works?
I don't know.
I don't think that's how it works.
I don't understand it.
This isn't a BR. Everything's rendered all the time.
The building kind of reminds me of when I first played Unreal Tournament, and there's like these three sort of skyscraper type things. That's really cool. That game had incredibly good music.
Incredibly good music.
Yeah, that level in particular had really sick music.
My name's Dan. This is incredibly good music.
So Avangar are in a great spot to take massive control of this game. Getting the anti-eco again, well, anti-force buy. I mean, obviously there's a save of 4 guns from the previous round. But the thing is, like, you can just lock the CTs out of the bomb sites with your utility, and they have only pistols, so it's very hard for them to do much.
So smart by Vanguard to spam that smoke. Snatchy try to sneak in, try to do some cheeky. Gets caught.
Nice. On the noggin. Noggin is English slang for head. Oh dear.
It's barbecue.
It's
Carpets
so,
and flames.
it's so interesting because you can't. They're kind of demonstrating how you can't really do anything with pistols. There's literally nothing you can do with pistols because if they go towards A like this, you don't. There's no like. So this is the thing with any other map when you're playing as a T side against 4 spy on the CT side. Once you get the bomb down, it changes everything because now the pistols have to come to the bomb, and that makes them really weak typically because they have to come out into the open. And you can kind of get that for free here. Or and that's also a methodical approach where they just use the utility to slowly whittle you down until eventually they go for the plant as well. So interesting dynamic to this map.
Oh, that hasn't quite hit the mark, I don't think. Indeed, there is a gap. 9-9, we see the first buy for Virtus.Pro. You've got to prioritize utility on this map. I think that much is clear. If you went rifle and no nades, you'd be crazy. Snatchy, as you go to the elevated position, yep, I like this as well. So he's got Veggie on the site itself. Mihu has a HE grenade, but he is on B. So he won't be helping with any plant on the A-bomb site now. How aggressive will these smokes be is my question. We've seen them go behind the default spot to smoke off the choke points like that exact smoke I'm talking about. So I think in some ways that helps the CTs, but in other ways, I think to the left of James' point of view, I think that area is really important for them to control, and you can see they've just jumped through the smoke in that regard. Snatchy here, but it's hard to avoid being traded. Eking forward, slowly but surely Avangar. There's no one to trade for James, no double peek. Still on the ramp, and just running into Snatchy. Not maybe the best approach. Looking for a flick. 2 players here now. 30 seconds falls to the flames. There's still a man advantage though for Virtus.Pro, but they've got practically no grenades. There was a molly on Okalicious. He's fallen now, so they can't stop the plant. There was an opportunity because it wasn't covered, the plant from a molly. Mihu charging through. Hero of the hour maybe. Fitch has got to go by elimination. Molly on the site, molly on the bomb. 11 seconds as a flank from the ramp, and Mihu will hold down the bomb site itself. I think Avangar's push was too separated. I think there's more they can abuse. One player jumping on site with no trade is crazy to me, because there are different ways, depending on the angle, that you can double peek. Like on the low ground and the high ground here. He kind of jumps around the corner, which is super weird.
Yeah, they were trying to follow pop flashes, but the pop flashes didn't hit their mark. And maybe if Avangar had better flashes, those peaks probably would have made a little more sense. But again, with a new map, maybe they just don't have everything down to a T just yet. And we're getting a good example of how hard it is to hold A. The T's can just set up whenever they want, sit back, and throw all the utility, and the CTs can literally do nothing. You saw Veggie the entire time hiding behind the bomb site, not even peeking. A lot of patience. Look, he has to do it again. He literally did not peek the entire round until like 3 of his teammates were already dead.
James leading with the AWP again to make first contacts. Oh, that's a nice shot onto Snatchy. And the A-bomb site is under assault again. Molotovs forwards. Not really anything that Veggie or anyone else on CT side can do right now with that smoke down. That one smoke, and then the smoke on the other side. So strong. Veggie, close position around the blue containers here. I wonder if anybody's going to be checking this.
Can't fire through that.
I was going to say. Maybe they'll change that.
That would be interesting, but the battle rages on. Some jump peeking, some information seeking from Virtus.Pro. James considering his options, creating some space. Does he go on top of the sandbags now? He does. Has he got himself a one-way? He looks like he has. No grenade for Okalicious. Nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. Throws his pistol away. Doesn't matter. He'll spawn with a new one. But he's just got to give it up. It's so interesting because you really have to hold on to your grenades. There's almost little point in using too many smokes and so on as the CTs before Ts take the site, because they're going to take the site, and ultimately you're going to need them afterwards. So the bomb plot's almost a given. That's a beautiful peek just before the smoke goes up.
Can you imagine looking at a heat map for all the Vertigo's played so far, professionally?
Probably a lot on the A ramp.
Just A would just be like burned.
Be on fire.
Just okay. Jame on point as always, it would seem. Stepping herds by Fitch. Vanguard mixing things up a bit here. The crazy thing is how much one guy can do on B by himself as well by lurking around, because again, there's not too many positions to look at. It's not like when you go in B on train, there's like 500 potential spots you get peeked on. Ooh, Mihu snapping the neck of Keep Cut, almost getting the same treatment for Mr. Buster, but Mr. Buster will live as Snacks. It's gonna be creeping. Last man standing. It's a pretty sneaky spot though.
He does have a kit, so I'll try to do something, but I doubt, because on this map you can stand right above him and not take too much damage from the bombs, so I can't see a ninja defuse in any way possible.
It'd be funny if there's a world where you can creep along that back wall and then they just have their backs to him and he just oh, okay, I guess Fitch somehow saw him there. Nicely done. So still just a one round for Virtus.Pro. Vanguard seem to be systematically just winning here.
Yeah,
They don't seem like they're in any sort of trouble.
They're really just playing a numbers game, just grouped up, throw some nades, sit back, let Jamie peek with an AWP, and Virtus.Pro has no answer for that right now. I'm thinking maybe double off setup, even though it doesn't seem like it'd be great. I think they have to try something a little different, and maybe try getting an early pick and then fall back.
Away you go. Poking, prodding, but perhaps not. VP, did it go for a pop flash play? God, it does look brutal, doesn't it? So let's see then. Early days for everybody on Vertigo. Smoke's deployed up. There's the pop flash play. Veggie looks hungry for it. And there is that smoke towards the balcony just to delay them. I think Mihu spotted a second player. So forward plays here from Virtus.Pro. Some good timing on both sides of the map. And Mihu's just winning duels for days in his position. That leaves Keykurt alone. So the timing's worked very well for Virtus.Pro on both sides of the map. I love that forward smoke I've been rabbiting on about before Vanguard are even on the bomb site with a molly to the left. I was thinking you'd need a molly to the left, but again, depending on the timing, if it's before the site's been taken and so on. Well, again, so many variables. You could just talk forever, but if they've got some advantages, so they've weakened the numbers of a Vanguard, then it does buy some time and make things harder for them. Got to respect it. Kika looks to save. Won't be terrible, considering they've got some money in the bank.
33 flashes.
Holy potatoes. Snacks and snatchy god flashbangs.
Oh, so what do you think of that, Eric?
Spam flashing. They just throw it. A lot of those flashers just flashes in the air. They just toss it up in the air. It hits 3 people. Do it 10 rounds in a row. That's what you do. Nothing specific. It's just literally just up in the air in the bomb site flashes.
Yeah, I guess up these stairs, they were breaking the glass and jump throwing flashes through the glass here towards the B bomb site. So I'm guessing it's a lot of those.
And even though the flash only blinds you for, what, 0.1 of a second, it's still count.
Yeah. The assist and the flash recording is very, very generous at the moment, I think.
You're just jealous, Eric.
I am jealous.
HLTV stats be exploding on Vertigo.
My favorite thing is... Oh, James is still on one.
He's good.
Oh, no. Now what do you do? Now what do you do?
That's a save.
Yeah, it's getting utility damage is one of my favorite things at the moment.
It's fun. Makes you feel good inside.
It's a shame you don't get like hit beeps like you do in Quake.
I remember there was patches in 1.6 that you could hear headshots when you spam them through walls.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In 1.6 of all
Yeah.
things.
So they quickly got rid of that after people just abused it.
Yeah.
It was easily abused. You just spam
Oh,
walls.
yeah.
Oh, I heard a ding. Keep spamming. There's even worse one where it'd say, I don't know, it was like a long time ago what patch, but it would say that you're hitting someone or something. Like you could hear even hit shots through walls. It was weird. That also got taken out fairly quick.
The model city is the 3D skybox, is what people are telling me. It's 1/16 the normal size, but gets scaled up 16 times in game. I don't understand what that means.
I don't know what you
Because
just
the
said.
skybox, they said the model city under the floor is the skybox, but isn't the skybox the sky?
Well,
What does that mean?
Skybox is the, I guess, the universe the map's in.
Explain
Kind of
more,
like-
people. I need more explain.
I've dabbled a little bit in map making, but not really that much. I'm assuming it's like the canvas of the map, you know, like the background.
I need explain. 12-11 for Avangar. It's close in terms of score, but is it close in terms of sides and so on? Seems the T's are to their advantage at the moment. Again, at flash play, Veggie doesn't find a timing on this occasion. Virtus.Pro, well, the CT side's being forced to gamble if they want to take an advantage. Bigger gambles than you may consider on different maps. And what is the upside for the CTs? The reward, I think, is limited. You'll probably get 1 kill if you're lucky in that spot. And still 4 players alive on Vertigo, I think, is still quite solid for a T side if they have all their utility and haven't tried to execute towards the A bomb site yet.
Yeah, the trade potential isn't that great for the CTs, so it's kind of, maybe that's where a lot of the complaints are coming from. Like, what can you do?
You can't really take the map away because you're so exposed. If you go down here, you're completely exposed to all of that. If you push the stairs, where we've seen some engagements on the other side, you're completely exposed. So if anyone's anywhere, you're probably going to die.
I think you're onto something. I'll talk about after this round, about the situation. So Molotovs are flying the site, and here we go, another A take. It's worked before for Avangar. It should surely work again.
It's chaos, absolute chaos trades upon trades, but the T's have more players. So you do the math.
I don't do math on stream.
Well, Okalicious needs 2. It's so easy to just fall back and be completely safe and expectant of where the CT will come from. He can only come from one place. So pretty easy here for Avangar to hold these positions. Okalicious perhaps faking that he's running away. And indeed, they've actually bought it. He could maybe have gone for... Did they hit? They've got to hear this. No. Oh, what? How do they not hear that?
Oh my goodness! What just happened?
How do they not hear that?
Did he
Is it
throw a
because they
decoy?
were
What happened?
I think it's because they were both spraying the wood, thinking that he was running away. So his fake that he's going to save actually worked so well.
Wow.
Oh wow, that doesn't make any sense.
So you know, yeah, there are times in game where you don't hear diffuses when people like a nade explodes or a person shoots a gun at the same time. It's weird how that works, how it cancels each other out. I don't know if that's a bug or just how sound mechanics work.
Maybe they're all playing music. 12-12. It's getting tight now. It gets tighter with Fitch taken out by Snatchy, proving to be a capable sniper on Vertigo, which is to little surprise. If it's possible, then Snatchy will certainly be in that conversation. So we've got the grenades being deployed towards the A bomb site now. There's a fair amount of utility being held onto by Virtus.Pro, and they definitely need to hold on to it for the retake. You can see Okalicious trying to create some space before the bomb goes down, but what can you really do with that? What is the plan? We've got a flank from Snacks on the way, but he'll be a while. We still have a lurking Buster, and there's another player taken out. Now they fall back into usual positions, but 2 versus 5. Buster eliminated. That's going to be a tall order.
Well, it's going to be very difficult to see a way for them to get in even against 2 players if James hits the first shots. But he doesn't hit the first shot. It's the second one though, and his teammate was unable to get anything. So another defuse comes in, and all of a sudden Virtus.Pro have 3 rounds of the 6 they need to at least guarantee a tie in this half. What is going on?
So I think maybe an idea to help fix the A ramp is you mentioned, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, James, about that yellow wall on the A ramp.
Yeah.
I think they definitely should either take that away or make it a lot smaller.
I don't think it needs to be there.
Yeah, I think you can take it away. I think you can take it away.
Yeah.
Because the Ts can get there before the CTs. So it's like it's not. It's
Yeah,
too
why do you
good.
need it? You have the entire fight's taking place, well, mostly on ramps, so you can continually change your elevation apart from that flat part. But yeah, there's definitely too much cover there. Because at least the CTs could do something, and then you would have a reward for the risk.
Yeah.
To some degree, at least. But right now there is, in my opinion, no real reward for the risk, even if you get 1 pick. If you get 2, then fair enough. But what are the chances of that? Too much risk in comparison. So we've got the same execute once again. Now look how much utility Virtus.Pro have. Even more than last time. Kika trying to make his way through. He tried to run it through, I think, double Molotovs from his own team.
The crazy guy.
That didn't quite work. So we've got the molly to start things off, try and delay the bomb plant. All the HEs have been deployed, save for Okalicious. Veggie fishing through the smoke. Got to be careful about spraying too much. Never know if somebody might pop through. He's lining up the retake smoke, so Okalicious doesn't last very long though.
Wow. Oh my days. This is brutal.
They made a wall of smoke.
Imagine if you had a Negev there. I'm just saying. The Negev's out.
This is a really dirty spot in Buster. This is a very unexpected and very cheeky spot. So annoying.
That's going to be the round. So Virtus.Pro actually had a wall of smoke retake, if I'm not mistaken. They had the one I'm talking about in the balcony, and they had one next to it, but Buster just living life like an Eastern European YouTuber on the edge of a building with a GoPro. So even with the investment, okay, so I think it was double Molotov, so Kika just on a crazy mission. There's the wall of smoke. What's worth mentioning though is you can see the molly going towards the site, so there are decisions to make. You can't expect to have, let's say, 3 smoke grenades post-plant on the A-bomb site. It's just like, I guess you need to make a list of like, where are you likely to have useful grenades, smoke grenades, as a CT before a plant is made on Vertigo. So you have the wall of smokes up. They have a post-plant molly on the bomb. Not much you can do. You put a smoke on the bomb, they can spray. There's it's a bit of paper, rock, scissors, it seems, at the moment.
I wonder if, you know what? I bet you could do a triple boost in A. I know that sounds really excessive, but I mean, at this point, what can you do? Holding the bomb site, maybe get the triple kill for that first pick, because you can jump and see over that wall. So it's possible to do a triple boost then if you see over the wall. Maybe we'll see that in the future.
(13-13). Looking rather close at the moment. Hard to say which way this will go. But if you're just joining us, Virtus.Pro did concede the first map. They lost to Avangar on Inferno. Pretty convincing. Avangar looks like the much better team. But on Vertigo, it's just like, it's not just a different map. It doesn't look like the Counter-Strike from all the other maps. It's really strange to witness. We'll jump throw smoke there from Sanji.
It's like asking that person.
It just went
to
off the map.
dance.
This went off the map, didn't it?
What did?
That smoke.
I don't know. I didn't hear it. Pop.
I think it just went off the map.
Here we go again. Maybe a warning not to run through your own Molotovs is required. There is the first molly towards the bomb position. And this will... Look how much utility is being used. It's absolutely crazy. But this will delay the smoke grenades that the Avangar side threw in the first place. And there's still plenty of utility now for Virtus.Pro to create some space for themselves on the retake. Veggie's being taken out. Miku creeping around the corner of the smoke. He could touch the bomb and try to invite some spray, although he may not get away from it in time. There's the first smoke on the balcony. There's a molly towards the sandbag position. James quite elevated. Fitch finds a gap for Mihu. Beautiful stuff. Going for some taps, he'll get tagged out. The variance continues. No one on the bomb just yet. Sanji creeping around the corner. They get sprayed down to absolute pieces. Snatchy can only do so much now, surely. 1 versus 3. He's got to run away. He has to. He must. Really wants to take someone else out. He's hungry. He's bloodthirsty. But the round will go with Avangar. It's a close one.
That's unreal. VP had so many people, so much utility, so much distractions trying to slow down this A-bomb site, but Avangar just stood back, waited the nades, and eventually just smoked and walked from plant. It's just... that's ridiculous. I feel like I'm playing Aztec in 1.6.
Right, yeah. This map is really good for Wingman, though, by the way.
Okay, that's always
Just,
good.
just you know.
Just throwing that out there.
Creeping around the smoke seems to be a problem for the CTs to deal with. At first you had a guy on the edge of the balcony, now you've got the guy just Sanji creeping around the smoke, so that's something to consider. Like, what is the... It seems there's no perfect option on a retake attempt for A. They have the different issues, the wall of smoke, half a smoke, with a smoke on the bomb. You need someone spotting that edge of the smoke, but even when it is that default plant, it's just... You can't really be to the side, for example. You're going to get sprayed down. Maybe some pop flashes. You can do some really strong pop flashes into that smoke. If someone's beyond it, that definitely needs to be dealt with. Meteor off to a good start with the USP, but it really is about saving the AWP here, unless something goes terribly wrong. Snags with just the one, and I think too many people have been fragged for a round win to be possible here for Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, not much that can be done now. There's like no way into that bomb site from CT. You got 2 tiny choke points. They're not just like tiny choke points, like, you know, beat hunts. It's like doorways, like tiny doorways that fits like a 1 model. It's crazy.
2D skybox shows the sky, clouds, etc. Just a texture. Lower quality models that won't be seen up close, like surrounding buildings, trees, scenery, are put in the 3D skybox and are smaller to allow mappers to simulate a bigger space around a playable map. Thank you, Sebastian Gruz on Twitter. So there's more information about that stuff. The city you see around you is 16 times smaller. It helps with FPS. For example, on Mirage, the towers are apart from the skybox. In the editor, there is a camera tool that makes everything around 16 times bigger. Thank you, CJ82087372. His name is Thought, apparently. Thank you for that information. Match point for Avangar. They've got 2 opportunities to take the W here. 2-0 Virtus.Pro. It's not easy, but it's doable, especially with Snatchy holding an AWP. Aggression towards the A-bomb site. He can only be so aggressive. Eventually, he'll have to fall back. They're holding on to plenty of utility Virtus.Pro at this point, but for how long?
Yeah, it's crazy on how on other maps, as a CTs, you get to play maybe 2 or 3 spots with an AWP before you're forced back onto a bomb site. But here it's like, maybe you get slightly in front of the site, 1 flash, you're behind the site now. It's tough. It's a tough life. And once again, even though it's 4v4, Avangar have position on A. So we'll see if they can hold on to it once more and close the match. We'll take down Mihu, so that improves their odds significantly. And they have shown that they know all the lineups as well, you know, through the big wooden panel. Flank attempt here from Snacks is again, it's pretty difficult to play against this forklift area. The UMP as well. Look how much time has been wasted. Maybe that's something that they should alter as well. Like, makes flanks slightly more powerful. And there it is, 16-13. Avangar will take Virtus.Pro down, and they'll be through to the next rounds.
Vanguard looking good. And now, even though this map, team's still kind of figuring out whatnot, Vanguard still did a really good job in this A-bomb site. There's Molotovs everywhere. The post plants were really nice, that they all peek together. They're working together. Overall, the team play for the Avangar was a lot better than VP. VP a little too much individual play, especially on map like on the previous map, and so I guess good job for Avangar.
That was-
a lot of entry kills.
That was a journey of discovery. I enjoyed that. There's a lot of difficult challenges, but there's definitely more thought to be done. But I think, I think we're getting there. I think we're piecing things together, especially with that orange top. I think that might be a little too much, but the exchange of utility is absolutely crazy on the A-bomb site. So very interesting game of Vertigo that the Vanguard's just about to come out on top of. I think the executes are pretty cool on both sides. There were so I think Virtus.Pro's executes on the T side were interesting as well, and they did a reasonable job on the CT side, just coming short of the final post there. And here are the scores on the doors. They actually did a lot, I have to say, for Virtus.Pro, but it's still like you really have to be a battle sniper, and then it's still very, very difficult, even if you're good at what you do in those very precarious situations. And that'll be a Vanguard in the finals to face the likes of Mouse Sports or Ninjas in Pajamas. They will be in action tomorrow, and that brings the European part to a close. We've got the HyperX factor of the match to come in a second or two. Any final thoughts on Vertigo?
Take out that yellow-orange tarp at
Yeah.
the ramp, and then we can work from there and see if CTs can hold at A-bomb site just a little better, because retaking it is not an option, apparently. I mean, we haven't figured out the retake yet, but it looks like it takes at least 3 or 4 people to even consider any retake.
Any opinion? You still think shotguns are good?
Yeah, why not? I think the map it needs a lot of work. I think the gameplay right now is a bit ridiculous, and I think it's less of an adaptation thing. I think it's more for me that the fact that you can cover so much of important areas with 2 smokes, it's just so much people spraying through smokes. It's just, I don't know, it doesn't look cool.
It's just variance, yeah. It's like
Yeah.
variance to game.
Yeah.
HyperX factor of the match. Let's see what it is. Play of the game. All right, let's see what we got here. So, oh, this is the 4K from James. This was awesome. This is asking too much of one person, but he managed to deliver. It's like he's like Jon Snow in all his battles, where he's just surrounded by people. He's like drowning, but somehow he still just manages to survive everything.
The next thing, you're just walking around,
Yeah.
Oh, spoiler alert. God.
That was, well, these are weeks ago, so
Yeah, okay.
this is fair enough.
Okay.
It's like when they're out in the north.
Yeah.
And he like drowns or something, but then he's like, whatever. Anyway, James, that was a beautiful performance. Very much deserving of the play of the game. I certainly agree with that. Before we go to break, because we've got North America coming up at the top of the hour in about 40 minutes, I have just received my bacon and egg keycaps. So we need to get this on camera. Absolutely haram. We've got the bacon keycap. Dan, you love bacon. I love eggs. Dan, would you like this bacon keycap?
I want both of them.
That's just...
You can't have bacon without eggs.
Try and be nice. It's just not worth it, is it?
I would be a benevolent leader, James. I was in charge of everything.
We are done with the European show. Come back in about 40 minutes to find out if Dan gets the bacon. Oh, he's taking it now. No, you're not taking that one. The North American show starts in about 40 minutes. MIBR versus E United is coming up. We will see you back here in a few minutes or so. See you soon.